Hey y'all, cheers, happy wine and design. I hope everyone is doing wonderfully. So I want to talk about styling or accessorizing your bookcases and built-ins. I recently came out with a new guide that leads you through the steps of doing that. It shows you some great examples of different types of bookcases. I'm not going to lead you through all of those steps right now. So if you are interested in that, comment below and I'll send you a copy of my guide. I also have the link in my bio. What I do want to talk about is how you can personalize the bookcases or built-ins or bookshelves, whatever you want to call it. How you can personalize that to truly make it yours and really make it special, because I think it's one of the best places in your home to do that, because you've got so many shelves, you have so many opportunities to really show people what you're passionate about, what's special to you. And I want to give you some tips on how you can do that. Now, when I start styling for a client, what I do is I first ask, are there any collections? Is there anything that you're really passionate about that you would like to display? So for example, we have a relatively new client. We're doing a new built-in for her, and she has a wonderful collection of blue and white porcelain. So we're going to be displaying that in the bookshelves, and I know it will look beautiful. But the key is not to just cram everything in there. You want a balance. You want a balance of the collections, other accessories, even, a house plant can be in there, artwork can be in there, books definitely belong in a bookcase. So it's a wonderful place to display collections. It is also a great place to display family photos. Now, the family photo thing can be rather controversial with interior designers. Not every interior designer likes displaying family photos. And the reason that is if you don't do it in a unified way, it can look rather chaotic, quite honestly, kind of junky. I've said a lot of times before, my recommendation is to buy frames of all the same frame finish. So that could be silver, that could be brass, that could be just a simple black frame. It doesn't have to be sterling silver or real brass. It can be a gold tone. What I do is I go to Home Goods and I buy all different types of silver frames. So it unifies it. I love going to someone's house and seeing family photos. I think it's fascinating. I love seeing where they traveled. I don't know if that makes me nosy. I love seeing the children throughout the years. So I do love family photos, but not everyone does. But bookcases are a great place to do it. And again, you balance it with books, with accessories, with decor. I do mention this in the guide, but when you're using books, you can do them horizontal, you can do them vertical, you can lean them a little bit, so you can vary that. It does help add levels because you don't want everything just the same across the board. Artwork can also go in bookcases because you want to not only think about levels up and down, you can layer front to back. So I have placed artwork at the back of a shelf so you can still see it. It's not like it's hidden, but it almost makes a backdrop to everyone else or everything else on that shelf. Love doing that. If you have built-ins, and so there may be the same trim color that you have, let's just say your trim color is white. I love painting the back of a bookcase to add a pop. It also makes things stand out more. So again, really personalizing because you're personalizing with color, but it's also making those special things pop more. I also love doing wallpaper in the back of a bookcase. It's a great place to add pattern, a great place to add color. You can do texture with seagrass with a grass cloth. So there are a lot of things you can do with color or wallpaper to make that really special. But my favorite thing to do in a bookcase is to display things that you love. So like I said, family photos, collections, artwork that's special. When I travel, I love collecting art, and I'm not saying it has to be this fine piece of art, but just a small small watercolor displayed in a bookshelf. There are a lot of ways to really make it yours. So when you're doing a bookcase, try not to overthink it. You want to start with a clean slate and then layer things in. So the three things you want to consider adding in would be art, decor, books. Like I said, you can also maybe in lieu of art, do family photos. But really think about the different layers. Think about the different types of things you're going to put in there. You're going to want to layer by height, by front to back, and play around with it, because really the biggest thing is if you mess it up, if you don't like it, it's one of the easiest things to change. It can also evolve over time. So those are my tips on styling a bookcase. I love them. Really, my very first design job was a client that called and said, we have so many bookcases and built-ins in our house. We don't know what to do with all of them. And actually that leads me to one other thing. They had three main spaces: a formal living room, their family room, and then a library. And you can treat all of those differently. So in the library, it was very book heavy. I think really 90% of what we did was books, because it is a library. In the family room, we displayed more family pictures. In the formal living room, it was primarily decor with books to add height in. So you don't have to follow the same formula throughout your house. I hope that was helpful. Cheers again. Happy almost summer. And if you need anything, if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me a message. Thank you. Have a good week.